This trip is a serious adventure to Montana. I received a call from a nice old guy named Ken. He had a bunch of international parts that they didn't want to crush, but needed them to go to a good home. So I thought it would be a good time to load up the trucks and head to Montana. Steve's truck, the 1971 1210, completely untested, no idea whatsoever what kind of condition or operating we were going to run into. He had done quite a bit of work to it beforehand, pretty extensive rehab on it, but it was untested. We literally finished it the night before, so we didn't know that it had a 16-gallon gas tank, and so we found out really quickly that we have to stop for fuel all the time. And my truck is a 71 1210 Travelette, obviously highly modified, 1-ton Dodge axles, Kingpin 60 front, Dana 70 rear. Has a DT360, which is an international diesel engine that they made into the early 90s. Mine came out of a international school bus, and then it has an Allison automatic from a 2005 Chevy Duramax. I only have a 22-gallon tank in the black truck, so I had to stop often as well. But Steve ran out on the road more than I did. First, though, we had to deliver a Scout to Caldwell, Idaho. A guy named Rob, nice customer, nice guy. We had put some time in on his Scout, and we figured that it was sort of along the way. Idaho is between Oregon and Montana. Once we left Rob's, I noticed the trailer tire was starting to get a little bulgy, and my spare tire was not in great shape. So stopped at Les Schwab after we left Rob's, picked up a brand new 10-ply, and hit the highway. And my intuition and experience was right. Not 10 minutes later did that trailer tire blow out, and we had to do a roadside tire swap, and then with me and Steve with the proper tools, it was record time. We were back on the road in no time, and on our way to Idaho Falls. Nice hotel, Idaho Falls, top floor, or second to top floor, so that was neat. I never stayed there before, but it was an interesting hotel. Decent weather when we left there, but we did run into some crazy weather going over the mountains into Montana. Went through some pretty scenic country. It was very nice. It's a picturesque drive for sure. I enjoy doing those kinds of drives, and also I like to take Steve on those trips because he's from Pennsylvania and does not quite have the same kind of scenery back there. So for him to be able to drive his own truck that he just built on a trip like that in that kind of country, it really was a once-in-a-lifetime type of opportunity, and so I was happy to give him that option and have him come along. So we rolled into Lewistown mid-afternoon, late afternoon, on I guess it would be Friday. Met up with Ken. We headed out to the ranch that was out in Hilger. It was about 20 miles outside of Lewistown. So head out to the ranch, get a lay of the land, see what's what. Luckily, Ken and the neighbor had been nice enough to stage all of the cabs out in the open for us. So when we walked into that, it was like, cherry picking, pretty straightforward. And so we figured out our entry and exit points. We figured out a plan on what we were going to tear down, and and headed out to our hotel for the night. And Saturday morning, bright and early, head out to Hilger again, and we jumped right into teardown. We already knew what we had to do, so it was, you know, every electric tool that we had, you know, impacts and drivers and everything like that. Josie working hard. Ken jumped in with his tools and helped. We just started breaking down front clips, putting them in the cabs, condensing the loads down so that they loaded onto the trailer because we had limited space. Pretty uneventful, really. Had to grind some bolts out, had to cut some heads off, you know, notch some things to get it to come apart, because these cabs were definitely from trucks that were used hard. That Montana living is not for the faint of heart. So got the cabs torn down by mid-afternoon, and then we started the loading process. I'd have to say that the loading process was the worst part of the entire trip. The equipment was a little bit underrated, or at least weight rated. It could lift plenty, but couldn't balance it. But we were able to load Steve's truck up first. He got 5 cabs, 4 on the trailer, 1 on the truck. And the cabs varied from, you know, some D series 69 to 75 pickups. There were a couple of C series 61 to 68. There was also a Scout 80 tub and frame that was part of the deal as well. So we got 5 cabs on Steve's setup, and then we were able to get 4 cabs and the Scout on my trailer, the Monster homemade 5th wheel. You know, tied everything down, used every strap that I had, and even some straps that Steve had brought, and just took everything to tie it down. And just in the nick of time, the sun was going down, the sky was turning colors. We couldn't have asked for a more picturesque finish to the day. One thing I will mention is the wonderful lunch that Ken's wife had brought out for us. They were super friendly, super hospitable. You know, just couldn't have asked for a better day. It was really real nice. The weather held out. It was good, and so got everything loaded. Got a bunch of pictures and stuff. You couldn't not take pictures of this menagerie. Headed back to the hotel for another night. Kind of rested up. We were all pretty tired. Headed out Sunday morning early. Steve had to get gas again, and then we hit the open road. This time we came through northern Idaho, through Coeur d'Alene and Spokane, and then down that way. It was a real test of the rigs We had a headwind, which on my truck was tough because I had a Scout up above the cab, so I was like double headwind. And then Steve, he was a little better, but his truck just has a 345, you know, 2-barrel, still had points. It was really stock. And so he did amazingly well. That truck, you know, it didn't climb the grades as fast as mine did, but on the straight stretches and open road, he was doing 65, 70, just no problems. You know, really impressed with how that truck did. So really the drive out was pretty uneventful. He ran out of gas a few more times. I did not have any more trailer tire trouble. Steve did not have any trailer trouble. It was just driving all the way back from Lewistown to Central Oregon. All in all, it was a very good trip. Burned a lot of fuel, saw a lot of sights, had a good time. It was an adventure. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully it, you know, is one for the record books. So the point of getting all these cabs and pieces and stuff is to populate our web store. So if there's parts or pieces that you've seen in this video, you can find all of it on our website, Binder Boneyard, thebinderboneyard.com. Our eBay store also is very busy. A lot of these parts are populating there as well. So if you'd like to purchase something, check those places out. Super big thank you to Ken and his wife for the lunch and Ken's help with teardown. The neighbor, I can't remember his name, but he came out with the tractor to help load. Couldn't have done it without Josie and all her help. Of course, Steve, you know, he's an animal and the business wouldn't be what it is without Steve. And then super shout out to Cody for recording all of this. You know, hopefully everyone enjoys this, and tell your friends.